Have you ever wondered why things never seem to go your way, even though you work hard? Do you feel like life keeps pulling you back, no matter how much you try to move forward? What if there are simple habits you're holding onto that are actually leading you toward failure, without you even realizing it? Let's take a simple example. Imagine someone who always says, "I'll do it later." Every task, every opportunity gets postponed until tomorrow. Days turn into weeks, and nothing changes. Slowly, opportunities slip away, and success seems farther out of reach. This is just one small habit that can set you on a path toward failure. But don't worry, you're not alone. We all have these tendencies, but the good news is we can change them. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the habits that unknowingly attract failure and how you can break free from them. But before we begin, we need your support. Did you know that so many people watch our videos, yet only 0.2% have subscribed to our channel? If you're finding value in these insights, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow and continue to bring you more valuable content. So, hit that subscribe button now. Now, let's talk about the key topic today: habits that attract failure. You might not even notice these habits, as they tend to blend into your daily life. Some of them might feel harmless, but over time, they quietly create obstacles that hold you back. Our minds are powerful, and the things we do repeatedly shape our reality, whether we know it or not. The first step to avoiding failure is recognizing these destructive patterns. By simply becoming aware of them, you take the first step toward change. Sometimes, we think failure is the result of external circumstances, but more often, it's these hidden habits that steer us in the wrong direction. This video will help you uncover those habits so you can start replacing them with positive actions that lead to success. Stay with us as we explore these powerful insights that can transform your life step by step. Procrastination, the silent saboteur of success. As we begin this journey into understanding failure, there is one habit that stands silently in the background, waiting to take hold of you without warning: procrastination. It's a habit that seems small, perhaps even harmless at first, but like a tree that grows slowly over time, procrastination can root itself deeply into your life, blocking your path to progress, success, and peace of mind. Now, let us reflect on this in very simple terms. Procrastination is nothing more than the act of delaying something you know must be done. You might say, "I'll do it later," or "I'll start tomorrow." These words seem innocent, but with them, you begin to push important things further and further away, allowing them to pile up like fallen leaves in a forest. The task grows larger, and with each passing moment, it becomes more difficult to clear the path. A Zen teaching says, when we delay today's work, we carry it into tomorrow. This delay does not disappear. Instead, it grows. It becomes a burden that we carry into our future, weighing down our ability to move freely. And with time, this habit of delaying things prevents us from reaching our goals and finding peace in the present moment. You may notice in your own life how procrastination sneaks in quietly. Perhaps you had an important task to complete, but instead of doing it, you chose to scroll through your phone or watch a show, thinking you deserved a break. You convince yourself there's plenty of time, or it's not urgent. Yet, by the time you return to the task, it feels heavier, more overwhelming, and suddenly, the time you thought you had is gone. Procrastination, my friend, is the master of disguise. It hides behind thoughts of relaxation, false comfort, and the idea that you will have time later. But time, like a river, keeps flowing, and it does not wait for anyone. When you put off what must be done, you are not freeing yourself. You are chaining yourself to the illusion that tomorrow will somehow be easier, lighter, or more forgiving. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the key to breaking free from many destructive habits, including procrastination. To be mindful is to be present, fully aware of what needs to be done right now. It is the ability to see clearly and act accordingly, without delay. When you are mindful, you no longer push tasks into the future. You act in the present, understanding that the moment to act is now. Now, you may wonder why we procrastinate. Why do we delay, even when we know it will bring us trouble later? Often, it is because of fear. We fear failure, fear discomfort, or fear that the task will be too difficult. But what we forget is that by avoiding these tasks, we are feeding our fears. Procrastination allows our fears to grow, to loom larger in our minds, until they seem insurmountable. Imagine you are standing at the foot of a mountain. From a distance, it looks high and intimidating. The more you think about it, the higher it seems to grow. This is what procrastination does. It turns small hills into towering mountains. But if you take the first step, if you begin the climb, you will soon realize that the mountain is not as high as you thought. Step by step, with effort and focus, you can reach the top. One of the greatest lessons you can learn is to act, even when it feels uncomfortable. It is better to start imperfectly than to not start at all. Action brings clarity. The task that seemed daunting will often reveal itself to be simpler than you imagined once you begin. Each small step you take brings you closer to your goal, while each delay moves you further away. Let me tell you a simple story. There was once a young monk who was given the task of sweeping the temple every day. At first, he would often delay his duties, thinking, "I can sweep later." But as time passed, he noticed that the more he delayed, the more dirt accumulated, making the job harder. One day, the head monk observed his struggle and said, "Do not wait until the temple is too dirty to begin. A few sweeps each day will keep it clean." From that day onward, the young monk swept the temple as soon as he woke up, and the task became light and easy. The temple remained clean, and the young monk's mind was at peace. This story is simple, but its lesson is profound. When we act promptly, when we take care of tasks as they arise, life becomes easier. The burden does not grow, and our minds are not weighed down by the unfinished work of yesterday. In Buddhism, we often speak of the middle way, the path of balance, avoiding extremes. Procrastination is an extreme that leads to imbalance in life. It may seem like a way to relieve pressure, but it actually increases it. The more we delay, the more pressure builds, until we find ourselves overwhelmed, anxious, and unable to act. To free yourself from the habit of procrastination, begin with mindfulness. Each time you feel the urge to delay a task, pause and ask yourself, "Why am I waiting?" Bring your attention to the present moment and remind yourself that action now is the path to peace later. The Buddha taught that the present moment is all we have. The past is gone, and the future is not yet here. Only the present is real, and only in the present can we act. Remember, procrastination is not simply about delaying tasks. It is about delaying your own success and happiness. When you allow this habit to take root, you push away the opportunities that life offers you. You miss chances to grow, to learn, and to move forward on your path. But when you face tasks head-on, when you act without delay, you open yourself to endless possibilities. In conclusion, procrastination may seem harmless, but it is a silent saboteur. It steals your time, your peace, and your potential. The good news is that you have the power to break free from this habit. Through mindfulness and action, you can reclaim your time and move closer to your goals, one step at a time. Do not wait for tomorrow may never come in the way you expect. The time to act is now, in this very moment. Let us continue this journey together, learning how to recognize and overcome the habits that hold us back, so that we may walk the path of success, peace, and enlightenment. Clinging to comfort, avoiding growth and opportunity. Imagine, for a moment, a bird that never leaves its nest. It stays in the same safe spot, day after day, feeding on what is given to it. The world outside is vast, full of opportunities, but the bird chooses comfort over the unknown. What happens to such a bird? It never learns to fly. It never experiences the sky. It never knows what it's truly capable of. In life, we are often like that bird. We cling to what is comfortable, what is known, what feels safe. But in doing so, we miss out on growth, we avoid challenges, and ultimately, we fail to unlock our true potential. Comfort is appealing because it is easy. There is no risk, no danger, no uncertainty. But growth happens outside of that comfort zone. It is only when we step beyond what we know, when we embrace the unknown, that we truly begin to grow. Growth and comfort cannot exist together. In the teachings of Buddhism, we are reminded that attachment is the root of suffering. Clinging to anything, whether it be people, possessions, or even comfort, keeps us from experiencing the fullness of life. When we hold on too tightly, we limit ourselves. The same is true for our comfort zones. When we stay where we feel safe, we avoid the discomfort that comes with growth, but we also avoid the opportunities that lie beyond. Imagine a plant that stays in the same small pot its whole life. At first, it thrives. The pot provides all it needs, but soon, the roots begin to outgrow the pot. The plant becomes restricted, unable to expand, unable to grow any further. If it doesn't move to a larger pot, it withers. The same happens to us when we stay in our comfort zone for too long. We limit our growth. We become stagnant. In life, opportunities for growth often come disguised as challenges. They push us, stretch us, and sometimes even make us uncomfortable. But this discomfort is necessary. It's a sign that we are moving beyond our current limits. If we always stay where things are easy, we never reach the heights we are capable of. Clinging to comfort can also come in the form of routine. Doing the same things day after day, following the same patterns, living the same life. There's a certain security in routine, but if we're not careful, routine can turn into a trap. It keeps us from trying new things, from taking risks, from discovering what else is out there. The mind becomes dull, and the spirit becomes restless. Opportunities, much like seeds, need space to grow. If you plant a seed in a small patch of soil, it might grow for a while, but soon it will run out of room. If you plant it in a larger garden, with space to spread its roots, it flourishes. But to do so, you must take the risk of planting it outside of the safety of its original place. Why do we cling to comfort? Often, it's fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of change. But fear is not something to avoid, it's something to face. In Buddhism, we learn that fear is often a reflection of our attachment to the self, to our ego. When we let go of this attachment, fear loses its power over us. We can step into the unknown with confidence, knowing that growth lies on the other side. Think of the greatest moments of growth in your life. Did they come when everything was easy and comfortable? Or did they come when you were challenged, pushed beyond your limits, and forced to adapt? Growth requires discomfort. It requires stepping out of what is known and into what is possible. When we cling to comfort, we avoid risk. But avoiding risk is also avoiding opportunity. Every opportunity in life comes with a certain level of risk. There is always the chance of failure, but there is also the chance of success. If you never take that chance, you will never know what could have been. In Buddhism, there is a teaching about impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing. Clinging to comfort is like trying to hold on to something that is slipping away. It is an illusion. The world is always moving, always evolving. And if we cling too tightly to where we are, we get left behind. To grow, we must move with the flow of life, not against it. The mind that clings to comfort becomes narrow. It sees only what is in front of it and misses the broader view. But when we let go of this attachment, the mind expands. We see new possibilities, new opportunities. The path ahead becomes clearer, and we realize that the only thing holding us back is our own fear of stepping into the unknown. A comfortable life may seem appealing, but it often leads to dissatisfaction. The spirit longs for growth, for expansion, for new experiences. When we deny it this, we feel a sense of emptiness, a sense that something is missing. That's because comfort is not where fulfillment lies. True fulfillment comes from growth, from challenging ourselves, from stepping beyond what we know. There is a beautiful saying in Buddhism: the obstacle is the path. The very thing that challenges us, that makes us uncomfortable, is often the thing that will lead us to growth. If we avoid it, we avoid our own potential. So, what can we do to stop clinging to comfort? Start by taking small steps outside of your comfort zone. Try something new. Challenge yourself in a way that feels uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be big at first, just something that pushes you beyond what is easy. Over time, as you get used to the discomfort, you will begin to see it not as something to fear, but as a sign of growth. Remember, the purpose of life is not to stay in the same place. It is to grow, to evolve, to expand your understanding and your experience. The comfort zone might feel safe, but it is not where you are meant to stay. Step beyond it, and you will discover a world of opportunity waiting for you. The Buddha taught us that attachment, whether to comfort or anything else, leads to suffering. By letting go of this attachment, we free ourselves to grow, to evolve, and to discover the deeper truths of life. Let go of the illusion of safety that comfort brings, and embrace the challenges that lead to growth. In the end, the choice is yours. Stay in the comfort of the nest or spread your wings and fly. The sky is waiting for you, but you must take the leap. Only then will you discover what you are truly capable of. Ignoring self-reflection, failing to learn from mistakes. Let us take a moment to pause. Why is it that we often fail to move forward in life? We stumble, we fall, and yet we continue on the same path, unaware of why we keep making the same mistakes. Have you ever wondered why things keep going wrong? It is because we fail to stop and reflect. We fail to look inward, to examine our actions, and to learn from our mistakes. Self-reflection is a powerful tool. It is like a mirror that shows us not just who we are, but also where we have been and where we are going. Yet, so many of us avoid it. We are afraid of what we might see. We are afraid that looking too closely might reveal uncomfortable truths about ourselves. But this avoidance, this reluctance to reflect, is one of the main reasons why we fail. Let me share with you a simple truth. Life is a series of lessons. Every experience, every mistake is a teacher, but only if we are willing to learn. When we ignore self-reflection, we are essentially ignoring these lessons. We miss out on the opportunity to grow, to improve, and to make better choices. We repeat the same mistakes because we have not taken the time to understand why they happened in the first place. Think of it like walking through a forest. If you trip over a stone and fall, but you do not stop to see what caused the fall, you are likely to trip over that same stone again. But if you pause, if you take a moment to look at the path ahead and notice the stone, you can step around it the next time. Self-reflection works in much the same way. It helps us to see the obstacles in our path, so we can avoid them in the future. Now, some might say, but I don't have time to sit and think about the past. They are too busy moving forward, too focused on what comes next. But without self-reflection, you are not truly moving forward. You are just walking in circles, repeating the same patterns over and over again. It is only through reflection that we can break free from these cycles and move toward real progress. So, how can we start the practice of self-reflection? It does not have to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly and ask yourself, what did I learn today? Or, what could I have done differently? The key is not to judge yourself harshly or to dwell on mistakes, but to learn from them. When we reflect with kindness and understanding, we open the door to growth. In Buddhism, self-reflection is often connected to the idea of mindfulness. Being mindful means being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, actions, and feelings. It is through mindfulness that we become aware of the patterns in our lives. We begin to see how our thoughts and actions lead to certain outcomes. And once we see these patterns, we can begin to change them. Imagine, for a moment, a potter at their wheel. As they shape the clay, they are constantly adjusting, refining their movements. If they make a mistake, they do not simply continue without thinking. They stop, they examine what went wrong, and then they make the necessary adjustments. This is how we should approach our lives. We are the potters, and our lives are the clay. But without self-reflection, we cannot see where adjustments need to be made. Failure, then, is not the result of making mistakes. Mistakes are inevitable. Failure comes when we refuse to learn from those mistakes, when we ignore the lessons life is offering us. When we do not reflect, we are choosing to stay stuck in the same place, making the same errors time and time again. But here's the good news: we can change. It is never too late to begin the practice of self-reflection. It is never too late to start learning from our mistakes. And once we begin this process, we will find that life becomes much clearer. We will start to see the path ahead more clearly, and we will be able to navigate it with more confidence and wisdom. Let us also remember that self-reflection is not about dwelling on the past. It is about understanding the past so we can create a better future. It is about learning from what has been, so we can make wiser choices going forward. It is about growth, about becoming a better version of ourselves. Sometimes we avoid self-reflection because we are afraid of what we might find. We are afraid of our own weaknesses, our own mistakes. But remember, facing these things is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It takes courage to look within, to face ourselves honestly. And it is this courage that will lead us to success. Buddhism teaches us that life is a journey of continuous growth. We are always evolving, always learning. But to grow, we must be willing to reflect. We must be willing to look at ourselves honestly and ask, what can I learn from this? This is not always easy, but it is necessary if we want to avoid the habits that lead to failure. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you sat quietly and reflected on your life? When was the last time you asked yourself, what can I learn from my experiences? If it has been a while, now is the perfect time to start. You do not need to wait for a major life event to reflect. In fact, it is often the small, everyday moments that offer the most valuable lessons. Self-reflection can be a daily practice, a way to check in with yourself and ensure that you are moving in the right direction. It is a way to keep yourself aligned with your goals, to make sure that you are not repeating the same mistakes. And over time, you will find that this simple practice leads to profound changes in your life. So, let us take this moment to begin. Let us commit to the practice of self-reflection, to learning from our mistakes, and to making the necessary changes in our lives. Remember, failure is not the end. It is simply a step along the path, a lesson to be learned. And with each lesson, we grow stronger, wiser, and more capable of achieving success. This is the way forward. This is the path to breaking the habits that attract failure. It all begins with a simple question. What can I learn from this? Ask yourself that question, and you will find that life has much to teach you. The answers are already within you. You just need to take the time to listen. The trap of comparisons. How envy derails progress. The mind loves to compare, doesn't it? You see someone who seems to have more success, more wealth, more happiness, and suddenly, you feel less. This is the trap of comparison. It's a subtle trap, but a powerful one. Once you fall into it, it becomes difficult to climb out. You start measuring your life against others, and in doing so, you lose sight of your own path. In life, no two paths are the same. Yet, the habit of comparing ourselves to others is like trying to walk someone else's journey, forgetting that your own journey is unique. The truth is, comparison creates a sense of lack within you, even if there is none. When you look at others, you focus on what you don't have, rather than appreciating what you do. Let me tell you a simple story. There was once a young monk who loved tending to his garden. He spent many hours caring for the plants, pulling weeds, watering, and making sure every leaf and flower grew well. One day, he visited another monk's garden. It was vast, filled with colorful flowers and fruit-bearing trees. Instantly, the young monk felt envious. His garden, in comparison, felt small and unimpressive. He lost interest in caring for his own plants, and his garden began to wither. When the wise Zen master saw this, he gently reminded the young monk, "Your garden may not look the same, but it is yours to tend. It will only flourish if you water it with attention and love. If you spend your time gazing at another's garden, yours will surely fade away." You see, the moment we start comparing, we shift our focus. Our energy is no longer on what we have, but on what we lack. This shift leads to envy, and envy is a poison that eats away at progress. It's a mental trap that pulls us into dissatisfaction, even when we have enough. When you compare yourself to others, you create an illusion. The illusion that their life is better, that they are more successful, more fulfilled. But here's the truth. You are only seeing a small part of their story. You don't see their struggles, their doubts, or their failures. Just like you have your own challenges, they have theirs too. Everyone's journey comes with ups and downs, but the mind tends to highlight the positives of others and magnify the negatives in your own life. The Buddha taught that envy arises from desire, the desire for things to be different than they are. But the path to peace and happiness lies in accepting what is, not longing for what could be. This is where mindfulness becomes your ally. When you are mindful, you see things as they are, without comparison. You focus on your present moment, your own growth, your own life. You realize that you are enough as you are. Let's talk about how comparisons derail your progress. When you constantly compare, you are distracted from your goals. Your attention is scattered, and instead of moving forward, you find yourself stuck in thoughts of, "I'm not good enough." These thoughts weigh you down, making you doubt your abilities, your worth, and your potential. Think about it. If a runner in a race keeps looking at the other runners, how can they run their best? They lose focus on their own speed, their own breathing, their own path. The same happens in life. When you are busy looking at others, you forget to nurture your own growth. It's important to remember that true progress comes from within, not from outdoing others. There is no need to compete. Life is not a competition. Your only task is to grow from where you are, with what you have. This mindset frees you from the burden of comparison. Let go of the need to be better than someone else. Instead, aim to be better than the person you were yesterday. That's the only comparison worth making. Each day is a new opportunity to improve, but the improvement must be on your own terms, not based on someone else's success. Envy can also harm relationships. When you envy someone, it creates a barrier between you and them. Instead of celebrating their achievements, you feel resentment. This can lead to isolation and bitterness. But if you shift your perspective, you can see their success as inspiration, not competition. You can learn from others without feeling inferior. The Buddhist teachings remind us that all things are impermanent. What someone has today, they may not have tomorrow. And what you lack today, you may gain in the future. Life is constantly changing. If you cling to envy, you are clinging to an illusion. The reality is that everyone's circumstances change, and so does your own. Take a moment to reflect on your life. What are the things you have been overlooking because you were too busy comparing yourself to others? Maybe it's your health, your talents, your family, or the small joys in your daily life. These are your blessings. Focus on them. Cultivate gratitude for what you already have. This simple shift in mindset will help dissolve envy and bring peace to your mind. The key to overcoming the trap of comparison is contentment. Contentment doesn't mean you stop striving for improvement, but it means you find peace with where you are while you grow. It's a balance between effort and acceptance. You can want to grow, to succeed, to achieve, but not from a place of lack or envy. Rather, let it come from a place of self-love and the desire to become the best version of yourself. Remember, your journey is yours alone. It cannot be compared to anyone else's. Just as a tree grows at its own pace, you too will grow at yours. Trust in the timing of your life. When you let go of comparisons, you free yourself to focus on your true potential. You reclaim your energy and your peace of mind. This is how you avoid the trap of comparisons and move forward on the path to true success. Take a deep breath. In this moment, you are enough. There is no need to compare. Embrace your own path, and it will lead you to the peace and happiness you seek. Neglecting mindfulness, the cost of living on autopilot. Mindfulness. It is such a simple thing, yet so few truly understand its power. To live without mindfulness is like traveling through life asleep, unaware of the journey you are taking. You see, when you neglect mindfulness, you are not really living, you are simply reacting. Many people walk through their days on autopilot, unaware of what they are doing or why. They wake up, follow routines, and move from one task to another, not fully present in any moment. Life becomes a blur, days pass by, and before they know it, weeks and months have slipped through their fingers. This is the cost of neglecting mindfulness. Let me share a simple truth with you. Awareness is the key to living fully. Without it, your life is driven by habits, impulses, and distractions. When you are not present in the moment, you miss the richness of life. Each breath, each sensation, each thought goes unnoticed, like sand slipping through your fingers. Consider this. Have you ever eaten a meal and barely tasted it? Or driven somewhere, only to arrive and not remember the journey? These are small examples of living on autopilot. You are there physically, but your mind is elsewhere, either lost in the past or wandering in the future. When you live this way, you lose your connection to the present moment, and with it, your ability to make conscious choices. In Buddhism, mindfulness is at the heart of everything. It is about being fully present in the here and now, observing your thoughts, feelings, and actions with clarity. When you practice mindfulness, you become aware of your habits, the good and the bad. You begin to see how certain actions lead you toward failure and others lead you toward growth. But what happens when you neglect mindfulness? When you fail to cultivate awareness, you allow unconscious patterns to take control. Your mind becomes like a ship without a captain, drifting aimlessly wherever the winds may blow. You react to situations instead of responding with intention, and in this state, you are far more likely to make poor decisions, fall into negative habits, and ultimately, fail to live the life you truly want. The cost of living without mindfulness is high. You see, it is not just the small moments you lose. It is the bigger opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. When you are not mindful, you miss the subtle signals your body and mind give you. You miss the chance to pause, reflect, and choose a better path. You are too busy, too distracted, too disconnected from yourself to notice what is truly important. Imagine a person who is always rushing, always thinking about the next thing on their list. They go from one task to another, always looking ahead, never stopping to appreciate what is happening right now. They are so focused on the future that they miss the present. This person may believe they are being productive, but in reality, they are scattered and unfocused. They are not giving their full attention to anything, and as a result, their work suffers, their relationships suffer, and their sense of peace suffers. Mindfulness brings clarity. It allows you to see things as they are, without the cloud of distraction. When you are mindful, you can catch yourself before you fall into negative patterns. You notice when you are being unkind to yourself or others. You see when you are avoiding responsibility or making excuses. With this awareness, you can make better choices, choices that lead you away from failure and toward a more fulfilling life. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I don't have time to be mindful. My life is too busy, too full of responsibilities. But mindfulness is not about adding another task to your list. It is about changing how you approach everything you do. You can practice mindfulness while washing the dishes, walking, or even during a conversation. It is about being fully present, whatever the task may be. When you neglect mindfulness, you also neglect the power of intention. Without intention, you are merely reacting to life instead of creating it. Mindfulness helps you set clear intentions and align your actions with them. It helps you move from a place of calm, wisdom, and inner strength. But without mindfulness, you are likely to act from a place of fear, stress, or impatience. And when you act from these places, failure becomes a familiar companion. You see, neglecting mindfulness is one of the habits that quietly attracts failure. It happens slowly, over time. At first, you might not even notice the effects, but soon, you will find yourself feeling lost, overwhelmed, and disconnected from your true self. You may wonder why things are not going your way, why you are not reaching your goals. The answer lies in the lack of awareness, in the absence of mindfulness. So, how do we begin to change this? How do we bring mindfulness into our daily lives? It starts with a simple breath. Pause right now and take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. Notice how it feels to breathe in and breathe out. This is mindfulness in its most basic form. Paying attention to what is happening right now, without judgment, without distraction. From this small practice, you can begin to cultivate greater awareness in all areas of your life. The next time you find yourself caught in a whirlwind of thoughts, pause. Bring your attention to your breath, to your body, to the present moment. Ask yourself, what am I doing right now? What am I thinking, feeling, and sensing? This practice will help you break free from autopilot and step into a more mindful, intentional way of living. Remember, failure is not just about big mistakes. It is often the result of small, unconscious habits that accumulate over time. By neglecting mindfulness, you allow these habits to take root and grow. But by embracing mindfulness, you can begin to uproot them, one by one, and replace them with actions that support your growth and success. In this moment, right now, you have the power to choose. Will you continue to live on autopilot, letting life pass you by? Or will you choose to wake up, to be present, and to live with intention? The choice is yours, and it is a choice that will shape your future. As we move forward, remember that mindfulness is not a destination. It is a practice, a way of being. It is something you cultivate each day, moment by moment. And the more you practice, the more aware you become of the habits that hold you back. With awareness, you gain the power to change, to grow, and to live a life free from the chains of failure. Avoiding responsibility, the habit of blame and excuses. In the quiet moments of life, there is a truth that emerges. We hold the power to shape our own paths, Yet, often, we find ourselves caught in a web of blame and excuses. The Zen master understands this struggle well. Let us take a moment to explore this habit that can lead us away from success. Imagine a person who faces a challenge. Instead of looking within, they point fingers at others. It's their fault, they say. If only my boss were better, or if only the weather were nicer. Blame feels comfortable. It allows us to shift responsibility away from ourselves. But in doing so, we lose sight of our own potential. The path of responsibility is often steep and rocky, but it is also the path of growth. Each time we blame others, we miss an opportunity to learn. A Zen master teaches us that the world is a reflection of our own actions. If we want to see change, we must first look inward. This is not always easy, but it is essential for true progress. Consider the story of a gardener. If the plants are not thriving, the gardener does not blame the sun or the rain. Instead, they examine the soil, the care they provide, and the conditions they create. They take responsibility for their garden. In life, we must be like that gardener. We must cultivate our own growth by acknowledging our role in the situations we face. When we embrace responsibility, we empower ourselves. We begin to understand that our choices shape our reality. This awareness can be liberating. It allows us to let go of the weight of blame and excuses and instead carry the light of possibility. Now, let's reflect on the practice of mindfulness. When faced with a challenge, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I change my approach? This simple shift in thinking can transform our perspective. By taking responsibility, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. However, we must be gentle with ourselves. Accepting responsibility does not mean we must be perfect. It means recognizing our humanity. Everyone makes mistakes, and that is part of the journey. The key is to learn from these moments instead of hiding behind excuses. When we practice this acceptance, we begin to cultivate resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges our way, but with a sense of responsibility, we can face them with courage. We can say, yes, this is difficult, but I can handle it. This mindset shifts us from a place of defeat to one of empowerment. Let's explore the concept of ownership. Owning our choices means acknowledging both the good and the bad. When we succeed, we celebrate. When we fail, we reflect. This cycle of ownership helps us grow. It teaches us that every experience, positive or negative, holds value. In Buddhism, we learn about the importance of interdependence. Our actions affect not only ourselves, but those around us. When we take responsibility, we also uplift others. We inspire those in our community to do the same. This creates a ripple effect of positive change. So, how do we begin to break the habit of blame? The first step is awareness. Notice when you feel the urge to blame someone else. Pause and ask, what part did I play in this situation? This small act of self-reflection can create a profound shift in our mindset. Next, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that you are doing your best in each moment. Instead of harshly criticizing yourself for mistakes, speak to yourself as you would to a friend. Encourage growth rather than punishment. This nurturing approach fosters a safe space for learning. As we continue this journey, let's remember the importance of community. Surround yourself with those who inspire responsibility and growth. Engage in conversations that encourage accountability. Sharing experiences with others can help reinforce our commitment to avoiding blame. Finally, let us embrace the beauty of impermanence. Just as seasons change, so can our habits. With patience and dedication, we can transform the habit of blame into a practice of responsibility. The Zen path is not a straight line. It is a winding road filled with lessons. Each step we take towards accountability brings us closer to our true selves. In conclusion, the habit of avoiding responsibility is a barrier to growth. By acknowledging our role in our experiences, we empower ourselves to create positive change. Embrace the journey of self-discovery, practice mindfulness, and cultivate resilience. As we let go of blame, we make space for responsibility, leading us toward a path of success and fulfillment. Resisting change, the habit of holding on to the past. In the journey of life, change is the only constant. Just as the seasons shift from spring to summer, autumn to winter, so too do the moments of our lives transform. Yet, many hold onto the past tightly, resisting the flow of change. This resistance can be like trying to swim upstream against a strong river. It is exhausting and leads nowhere. Imagine a tree. In spring, it bursts forth with new leaves, welcoming the warmth of the sun. As summer fades into autumn, the leaves turn golden and fall away, making way for new growth in spring. The tree understands the cycle of life. It knows that holding on to the old leaves will not help it flourish. It lets go, trusting that new life will come. We, too, must learn to let go of what no longer serves us. Holding on to the past can feel safe. Memories of good times may bring comfort, while painful experiences can create a false sense of security. If I keep this memory close, we might think, I can protect myself from future hurt. But in reality, clinging to these moments limits our growth. It traps us in a cycle of regret, fear, and missed opportunities. Consider a story of a young monk. He lived in a beautiful temple, surrounded by tall mountains and vast skies. One day, he discovered an old, dusty book filled with tales of great warriors and their battles. The monk became obsessed with the stories, believing they held the keys to power and success. He spent countless hours reading about the past, but in doing so, he neglected his daily practice in the present moment. As the seasons changed, the monk noticed that he felt more distant from the beauty around him. The vibrant colors of the flowers and the gentle rustling of leaves no longer caught his attention. He was so focused on the past that he forgot to live in the present. One day, an elder monk approached him and said, "Dear child, the past has its lessons, but the present is where life unfolds. Let go of what is behind you, and you will see the world anew." The young monk realized the truth in the elder's words. He began to appreciate the beauty of each day, embracing the changes around him. He understood that while memories are valuable, they should not define his existence. Change is a teacher. It offers us new perspectives and experiences. It allows us to grow and evolve. Resisting change can lead to stagnation. Imagine standing still while everything around you shifts. Life continues to flow, and opportunities pass you by. When you cling to the past, you miss the chance to embrace new experiences. You may find yourself saying, "I wish I could go back to the way things were." But in reality, the present moment is where true happiness lies. Buddhism teaches us the importance of impermanence. Everything is in constant flux. The more we accept this truth, the easier it becomes to let go of what no longer serves us. Change is not something to fear. It is a natural part of life. Embrace it with open arms. Trust that new experiences will enrich your journey. Think about a river flowing gently down the mountainside. It does not resist the rocks or the bends in its path. Instead, it flows around them, adapting and changing course when needed. We too can learn to flow with life. When faced with challenges, ask yourself, what can I learn from this change? Instead of resisting, seek the lessons hidden within the experience. Letting go of the past means making space for the future. It allows you to open your heart to new possibilities. When you hold on to old beliefs and experiences, you may find it difficult to accept new ideas. You may miss out on opportunities for growth and transformation. So, ask yourself, what beliefs are you clinging to that no longer serve you? What memories hold you back from embracing the present? Practicing mindfulness can help you navigate through these changes. It encourages you to be present in each moment, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you notice yourself holding on to something from the past, take a deep breath and acknowledge it. Then, gently let it go. Release the grip it has on your heart and mind. Feel the weight lift as you free yourself from the burden. In each moment, we have a choice. We can choose to resist or to embrace. When faced with change, ask yourself, how can I grow from this? Instead of fearing the unknown, view it as an opportunity for growth. Allow change to shape you into a better version of yourself. Remember, every ending is also a new beginning. The world is full of endless possibilities. Each day brings a chance to learn, to love, and to grow. By letting go of the past, you open your heart to the beauty of the present moment. You become a vessel for new experiences, a garden ready to bloom. Embrace change, and let it lead you on a path of transformation. As you move forward, carry this wisdom with you. Change is not the enemy. It is your ally. It will guide you toward new opportunities and help you discover your true self. Release the need to control every aspect of your life. Instead, trust in the journey and the lessons it brings. In doing so, you will find peace, joy, and fulfillment. Let go of what no longer serves you and welcome the beautiful, ever-changing flow of life. The path of change is where you will find growth, happiness, and a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Resisting change, the habit of holding on to the past. In the stillness of a quiet mind, we often find ourselves clinging to what is familiar. The world around us is always changing, like the flowing river that carves through the mountains. Yet, many of us resist this natural flow. We hold tightly to our past experiences, our old beliefs, and the comforts of what we know. This resistance can be a heavy burden, one that weighs down our spirits and dims our potential. Change is not something to fear. It is a part of life. Just as the seasons change, so too must we learn to adapt and embrace the new. Think of the trees that shed their leaves in autumn. They do not mourn their loss, but instead prepare for the new growth that comes with spring. In the same way, we must let go of what no longer serves us, allowing ourselves the freedom to grow. Holding on to the past can manifest in many ways. Perhaps you remember a time when you were happy or successful, and you long for those moments to return. But the truth is, clinging to those memories keeps you from experiencing the beauty of the present. Each moment is a gift, an opportunity to create new memories and forge a new path. When we hold tightly to our past, we are like a bird with clipped wings, unable to soar to new heights. Sometimes, we resist change because it brings uncertainty. It is natural to feel anxious about the unknown. But consider this: every great achievement in history began with a leap into the unknown. Think of the explorers who sailed into uncharted waters, or the inventors who dared to create something new. Their courage to embrace change led to discoveries that transformed our world. By resisting change, we miss out on the possibilities that lie ahead. Let us reflect on the concept of impermanence. In Buddhism, this idea teaches us that nothing stays the same. Everything is in a constant state of flux. Our emotions, our situations, and even our relationships change over time. When we accept this truth, we free ourselves from the fear of change. We learn to embrace life's ebb and flow, finding peace in the midst of chaos. To begin letting go of the past, we can practice mindfulness. This means being present in the moment and fully experiencing what is happening around us. Take a moment to notice the sounds, the sights, and the feelings of now. Allow yourself to experience joy, sadness, or any emotion that arises without judgment. By doing this, we become aware of our thoughts and patterns, enabling us to recognize when we are clinging to what no longer serves us. Another powerful practice is gratitude. When we focus on what we are grateful for in the present moment, we shift our attention away from what we have lost. Gratitude opens our hearts and allows us to see the beauty in change. Write down 3 things you are thankful for each day. This simple act can remind you of the goodness that surrounds you and help you release your grip on the past. It is also important to remind ourselves that change often brings growth. Just like a caterpillar must struggle to emerge from its cocoon, we too must face challenges to evolve. Each time we let go of something old, we make space for something new and wonderful. It is through this process of transformation that we find our true selves. When you find yourself resisting change, ask yourself why. What fears are holding you back? Are they based on reality, or are they simply stories your mind tells you? Challenge those thoughts. You are stronger than you realize, and embracing change can lead to unexpected blessings. We must also understand that letting go does not mean forgetting. It means acknowledging the lessons we have learned from our past and carrying those insights forward. Those experiences shape who we are, but they do not define our future. We can honor our past while still moving toward new possibilities. As we journey through life, let us remind ourselves to be like water, adaptable and flowing. Water finds its path, carving through stone, shaping the landscape. Similarly, when we accept change, we can navigate life's challenges with grace. In this ever-changing world, let go of the habit of resisting change. Embrace the beauty of transformation and the lessons it brings. When we free ourselves from the chains of the past, we open ourselves to a future filled with possibilities, growth, and joy. Allow yourself to step into the unknown, trusting that the universe has a plan for you. With each step you take, you create a new reality, one that reflects your true self. Embrace change, and let it guide you toward a brighter future, where you can soar freely like the bird that has finally spread its wings. Resisting change, the habit of holding on to the past. In the quiet corners of our minds, we often hear whispers of the past. These whispers can be comforting, like an old friend, but they can also hold us captive, preventing us from embracing the beauty of change. The Zen master knows this well. Change is the essence of life. It flows like water, shaping and reshaping everything it touches. Yet, we sometimes cling to what we know, fearing the unknown that comes with change. Imagine a tree that refuses to shed its leaves in autumn. It clings to them, even as the winds blow fiercely. The tree believes it is protecting itself, but in reality, it is only causing itself pain. The leaves eventually turn brown, and the tree struggles to survive the harsh winter. In the same way, when we resist change, we create unnecessary suffering in our lives. Change is natural, just like the seasons. Each season has its purpose. Spring brings new life, summer brings warmth, autumn teaches us to let go, and winter brings rest. Each stage is vital for the cycle of life. When we resist this cycle, we miss out on the growth and renewal that comes with embracing change. Sometimes, we hold on to old habits, beliefs, or relationships long past their expiration date. We may feel safe in our routines, but they can become chains that bind us. Just as a caterpillar must shed its old skin to become a butterfly, we too must let go of what no longer serves us. This letting go can be uncomfortable. It may bring fear and uncertainty. But remember, every great transformation begins with a small act of courage. The Zen master encourages us to reflect on what we are holding on to. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to change? Is it a job that no longer fulfills you? A relationship that brings more pain than joy? Or perhaps an old belief that limits your potential? Acknowledging these fears is the first step toward freedom. As we learn to let go, we open ourselves to new opportunities. The space we create allows fresh energy and experiences to flow into our lives. Change is not something to be feared. It is a doorway to new beginnings. With every ending, there is a new beginning waiting to unfold. Practice the art of acceptance. When you face change, breathe deeply and embrace it. Trust that the universe has a plan for you. Just as the river carves its path through the earth, you too will find your way. Allow yourself to be like water, flexible, adaptable, and willing to flow wherever life takes you. Sometimes, change comes from unexpected places. A chance meeting, a new idea, or even a simple moment of inspiration can guide you toward a new path. Stay open to these moments. They are the universe's way of nudging you toward growth. Remember, resisting change can lead to stagnation. When we cling too tightly to our comfort zones, we prevent ourselves from experiencing the richness of life. The world is full of possibilities waiting for you to explore. When you release your grip on the past, you make room for the future. Embrace the lessons that change brings. Each experience, whether joyful or challenging, is an opportunity for growth. Reflect on the past, but do not let it define your present or dictate your future. Your journey is unfolding in the here and now. Let go of the fear that holds you back. Trust in your ability to adapt and thrive. Change may not always be easy, but it is essential for personal evolution. Just like the seasons, you too will experience cycles of growth and renewal. The Zen master teaches that acceptance is key. When you accept change, you align yourself with the natural flow of life. You become more resilient, more aware, and more alive. Let go of the old, and you will discover the new. As you move forward, take small steps toward change. Each step is a powerful act of courage. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Remember, even the longest journeys begin with a single step. Trust in yourself and your ability to adapt. In this moment, as you reflect on the habit of holding on to the past, ask yourself, what change can I embrace today? It could be as simple as trying a new activity or letting go of a negative thought. Whatever it is, take that step. You are capable of so much more than you realize. The journey of change is not a destination, but a continuous flow. Embrace it with an open heart and a willing spirit. Let the Zen teachings guide you as you navigate the beautiful, ever-changing landscape of your life. Conclusion: breaking the cycle of failure, a path forward. In the quiet of your mind, a profound truth awaits. Failure is not merely a destination. It is a teacher, guiding you gently towards self-discovery. The habits that attract failure are like shadows, lingering in the corners of your life. They whisper to you, urging you to stay in your comfort zone, to avoid the pain of change. But remember, the light of awareness can dispel these shadows. As you reflect on the habits we have discussed, consider the power of letting go. Imagine holding tightly to a heavy stone. It weighs you down, making every step a struggle. Now, visualize releasing that stone into the water, watching it sink away. This is what it means to let go of habits that do not serve you. It is a release, a liberation from the burdens of past choices. Change does not happen overnight. It is a journey, one that requires patience and compassion for yourself. Just as a seed needs time to sprout, so too do you need time to grow. Cultivate your garden with small, nurturing actions. Each day presents an opportunity to water your intentions and allow them to flourish. Embrace the practice of mindfulness. In moments of stillness, breathe deeply and observe your thoughts. Are they filled with self-doubt, or do they uplift you? This simple act of awareness allows you to shift your perspective. When negative thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment, then let them float away like leaves on a gentle stream. Surround yourself with positivity. Seek out those who inspire you, who encourage growth and change. The energy of others can greatly influence your own. When you are in the company of light, darkness has no place to reside. Engage in conversations that uplift, share ideas that inspire, and create connections that nourish your spirit. The path to breaking the cycle of failure is also paved with forgiveness. Release the past, for it no longer holds power over you. Understand that mistakes are part of the journey. They are not a reflection of your worth. Each stumble is a chance to learn and rise again. Embrace your imperfections, for they are the fabric of your unique story. As you move forward, set intentions rather than rigid goals. Intentions are gentle nudges toward the life you desire. They allow for flexibility and adaptation, accommodating the ebbs and flows of life. When you set intentions, you align with your true self, paving the way for authentic growth. Take small, consistent actions. Rather than overwhelming yourself with grand plans, focus on what you can do today. A single step in the right direction is more powerful than a leap fueled by fear. Whether it's waking up a little earlier, practicing gratitude, or engaging in a new hobby, these small actions accumulate over time, creating significant change. Reflect regularly on your progress. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Acknowledge the courage it takes to change and grow. Write down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This practice not only provides clarity, but also helps you recognize patterns and progress. Trust the process of life. Understand that there will be challenges along the way. Sometimes, the path may feel steep and filled with obstacles. Yet, it is in those moments that your strength is forged. Trust that every difficulty carries a lesson, leading you closer to your true self. Above all, be kind to yourself. The journey to breaking free from failure is not about perfection. It's about progress. Embrace each moment, for it is a gift. As you continue this journey, remember that you are capable of change. You have the power to rewrite your story, to transform habits that once held you back into stepping stones for success. In this vast universe, you are not alone. The energy of countless beings surrounds you, offering support and encouragement. Feel the warmth of connection, knowing that every step you take towards growth is a step shared by others on a similar journey. So, as you move forward, carry with you the insights gained from this exploration. Break the chains of habits that attract failure and step into the light of possibility. Embrace the unknown with open arms, for within it lies the potential for transformation. The path is yours to create, and each day offers a new canvas upon which to paint your dreams. You have the tools, the wisdom, and the strength within you. Now is the time to rise, to flourish, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Embrace your journey with an open heart and watch as the world unfolds before you, filled with endless possibilities and opportunities for growth.